So this exhibition looks at Blitz and the Blitz Kids, that coterie of young, creative, energetic people who came together in London in late 1979 to create a new cultural scene that would go on to define the decade ahead.
We really felt we were going to be helping to create the look of the 80s. So, you'd spend a long time deciding what you were going to wear, and what your look was that week. And my brother was very extravagant, and he would go and buy material during the week, then he would turn it into stuff. He would really be quite brilliant at it.
I think that's the great thing about the Blitz. It was very influential on a generation of creative people. It wasn't just a load of robots and futuristic music. It was current, classic, beautiful music, Bowie, Roxy, and obviously all this new music that I was playing.
Mainstream music and fashion back then was pretty dreary, and the music scene is grim, everyone's unemployed. That's the backdrop of the Blitz. So we did exactly the opposite. We did our absolute best to be absolutely fabulous. Or at least we thought we were. In our heads, we certainly were. I mean, we're living in a pre-telephone, pre-computer age. Back in 1978, 79, there was an ability to create mystique. And you created that mystique, or Steve Strange did, by deciding who could come in and who couldn't come in. Even then, as young kids, that mystique would give our band a much more impetus. And of course now, with telephones, it's impossible to create any sense of mystique.
Blitz was much more holistic. It embraced everything. And many of the people who frequented the club went on to shape the look and the sound of the 1980s and beyond.
I think the Design Museum have done a great job in really expressing all the influences that went into creating that moment, and then all of the stuff that came out of that, how it became rather conventional in the 80s. But if it hadn't have been for those kids in that room, maybe none of the 80s as we know it would have happened.